So I just got to my office and I got here a little bit later than what I would typically do. Reason for that, it is my son's birthdays. My triplet boys are turning 3. Where does the time go? In addition to that, my 6-year-old daughter is on spring break. So it was the perfect, what we call a culmination of time coming together so that I have all the little ones at home for their birthday. And this morning I was having my cup of coffee. My wife was next to me having her cup of coffee. And I just started looking at all of my kids in the living room. These are living room kids, by the way, not the way that we grew up. If you know, you know. And as I'm taking my sip of coffee, I am looking at each of them, and I am looking at Paw Patrol on one side of the living room, on the floor scattered, all the toys. I'm looking at Hot Wheels on the other side. I'm looking at Elmo on the other side of the room, and we have Danny Go playing in the background, and my daughter's laughing. She's jumping, she's dancing, and I thought for a second. I said, man, what would 80-year-old me think about this moment right now? Because if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes, and I'm 34, by the way, we're constantly in a rush to get to the office. We're constantly in a rush to get that email fired off. We're constantly in a rush to start our workday, whatever it is that you do. If you're a stay-at-home parent, then you're maybe in a rush to have everything perfect, everything lined up. But when's the last time you just really sat down and settled and just watched your kids for a moment? I think that is the beautiful thing about having kids, and like God strategically planned it because it forces you to be present and in that moment in time. I think that 80-year-old me and maybe even 80-year-old you would want to go back to that moment, even just for 5 minutes, to hear the bickering, to hear the crying, to hear the screams, to hear the laughters, to hear the little giggles, to hear the way that they enunciate their words incorrectly. And so if you have kids, take this moment, if you haven't done so already, whether they're in spring break or not, even if you're on your way to school with them, and just think, what would older me think about this moment? I promise you they would most likely appreciate it, and they would trade anything just to be back in that moment, even if it's for 5 minutes, because it is a true gift of God.